we should be going live. I'm gonna wait till it pops up. Okay, yeah, I can see that we're live now. What's up, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another PE podcast number 83. Sorry for the late start tonight, and we have a little bit of a skeleton crew. About half of the cast is missing, just because there was just stuff, blah blah blah. But good news is not next week, but the week after, we're going to be returning back to our state on YouTube. So that's going to be pretty cool. Should be interesting in terms of everything. But we do have a podcast tonight. We do got some pretty cool topics. Going to be a little bit more chill, probably be about an hour maybe. Maybe we'll hit that. Not really sure, but we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, we do have a cast here today. We've got two of my guests here on the podcast. And we're going to start off with Jordan Fringe, who's the blurry guy in the center. Jordan, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing all right. How's it going?
It's going good, going good. Good to have you here, of course. How was your week, man? So far, at least.
Long and I'm very tired.
All right. Well, good thing the podcast isn't going to be too long tonight since you're tired. I actually even DM'd you. I don't know if you saw my DM. I was like, hey, man, if you want to skip tonight, feel free to skip tonight if you want. I mean, and if you want, you can still hop because we're just gonna be. I mean, really all it is like sales stuff. So it's up to you though, man. It's up to you if you're
Yeah.
tired, man. Me and VC, we can cover it tonight if you want. Um, Next up is VC. VC is
Yep.
here. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Just been a bit busy lately trying to get through my backlog, creating content, and been focusing on doing a lot of live streams lately. I still do my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, but live events as well. I started streaming Evo 20 Japan, 2020 Japan was amazing last week. I watched that over Genesis, and it was nuts. T, the Pac-Man player, going crazy.
Yeah,
Kome, the Shulk player,
yeah.
proved me wrong a lot. Like from the moment I saw him, I was like, I don't want him to go that far. Like I wanted Chutan and T. Those are the two people, and
Al-
Kome made it all the way to top four, and I gotta give him props. He made Shulk look nice. He did.
Although I will say that, like, maybe your whole prediction of Cloud being better than Shulk is going to happen here with those nice buffs to
He
to
did. He did get those buffs,
yeah, he did get those buffs. It was
and
pretty
they were good buffs, significant. So we'll see. And Joker Arsene specifically got some nerfs, so
yeah,
that's great.
big nerfs for Arsene. Big nerfs.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, that was good, man. I'm glad that you had a good stream and everything like that, and you had people come
Yeah,
through.
thank you. It helped me reach my watch time hours, so I'm
Yeah,
definitely gonna
okay, so
continue
you
doing live events.
okay, you hit but you just have to hit the subs now.
Oh yeah, just subs. I'm only less than 400 away too,
Okay,
so that's awesome. I've
so
been gaining like 130 a month at this rate.
so you'll
So
get that you'll get that this year probably like a little
yeah,
bit
by
before
the
E3.
end of May at the very latest, I should reach 1,000.
There you
So
go.
that's still like 5 months shy of the 12 months total. So
Yeah. So yeah,
I'll I'll be in. I'll be set.
you'll reach it in a good you'll reach it in that amount of time. So that's good, man. All
Yeah,
right,
thank you.
so let's go ahead and let's get into some of these topics here, man. Obviously, pretty big day for the Nintendo Switch. I mean, there was a lot of news, but the biggest news to drop is the fact that Nintendo just stated that there's not going to be any new hardware for 2020, and that has caused some interesting thoughts over the internet from people that have been one way or another. I would say it's like a really low scale Nvidia versus AMD. We're like budget scale Nvidia versus AMD, man. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting for sure. But let's talk about this because Nintendo did put out a brand new, in terms of information, and they basically just said, "Hey, look, we're not going to be putting out new hardware before the end of 2020." That's what they said. We're not going to be putting out hardware before the end of 2020, and yeah, this is what you're going to get so far. Now they said at this point, so there's always that, and there's been people that have been saying like, "Oh well." Like they said that about the Nintendo Switch Lite, but the wording was a little bit different. The wording was a little bit different for there, but it is what it is there. But what do you think, VC? What are your thoughts? No new Pro model Switch for 2020. Are you surprised? Not surprised? What's your thoughts, man?
Personally, I am absolutely not surprised, but what I do see is someone specifically who's been touting for the past month and a half that the new Switch model is coming in 2020. They keep spouting this while Shadow Fox and I have been constantly saying the opposite to this guy, and he's lying right to people right now because I wanted to see what he was going to say
Wait,
about
no,
it.
no,
I'm
no, no.
not
You don't
mentioning
gotta. You
him.
don't gotta do all that. You don't gotta do
I'm
all
not
that.
mentioning him, but he's literally lying to his followers in his new tweet about the situation, and it's like, what kind of fraud can you be, man? Like about the situation, but excluding that, I am not surprised at all by this. I'm definitely not surprised. I expected a Switch Pro by 2021 of some kind, maybe 2022. The current Switch model is doing amazing. It's the Switch Lite as well is doing really well too. It sold over 5 million, correct? The Switch Lite.
Yeah, Switch Lite 5 million. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's very good, honestly, because that dropped in either September or August, I think.
September. I think Link's Awakening. So September, right?
Yeah, Link's Awakening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's only like a 3 4 month time period. So like I can imagine Switch Lite sales booming to 20 million by the end of this year. I
Mm-hmm.
can definitely see that being a possibility, especially if they make an Animal Crossing Switch Lite as well, because they have the brand new Switch Lite for that coming out soon too. So
We'll talk about that
overall,
too.
yeah, it doesn't surprise me, but if it was to come out, I wouldn't be mad. Of course, who would be mad? But it's just it's so stupid that people really expected a Pro in 2020.
Okay. Well, what about you, Jordan? Are you up to date on all this Switch Pro stuff in terms of what's been the back and forth?
I mean, I've been up to date, on hearing about the Switch Pro nonstop since the Switch even came out. So at this point, whoever says one's coming is going to be right eventually. Um, but at least they did announce a new Switch in general today, the Animal Crossing one, which
Yeah,
was nice.
yeah, I think that's a good to talk about the Switch sales. I mean, I think this is a kind of good way to kind of get your thoughts on this because out of all of us here, I think you're probably the biggest Animal Crossing fan.
Yes.
So, what are your thoughts on that brand new Switch Lite? And I guess you can chime in with your Switch sales.
Oh
I know
no,
you're not
it's
as interested
it's
in
a
that.
it's a
So,
full Switch.
yeah, it's well, yeah. Sorry, not Switch Lite. Sorry,
Yeah, which
it's a full
surprised me.
Switch. I actually already bought it.
would.
I bought it.
Where you got it from Best Buy?
Yeah, yeah, I pre-ordered it.
I'm waiting for the Amazon link just because I don't want to drop 300 right now because Best Buy will charge your card right now.
Yeah, they do.
Um, but yeah, it's I was fully surprised it's a regular Switch, but I'm also really kind of glad it is because the amount of detail. I think this is the most detailed Switch special edition they've ever launched. If
Mm-hmm.
you look at all the pictures, not only is the dock completely a different color, but it looks like almost hand painted, very nice. And then the back of the Switch itself has so many different little Animal Crossing characters and scenarios from the town, like kind of etched into the back of it. The Joy-Cons having this nice, light teal, green, blue look on each side. Beautiful system for at $300. I don't think it comes with the game. I believe it's just the
No,
console itself, right?
just the
Yeah.
console.
Very very cool look to it. If I could have designed one, that'd probably I'm happier with that than let's say the 3DS that they launched, where it was just the white 3DS with a couple colored in the different shapes from Animal Crossing.
Mm.
This one has a lot more like fan stuff on there that if you really are into Animal Crossing, is pretty cool. So I'm excited for it, and then I'll have to buy another Switch now. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think the coolest thing with it is that I mean to kind of tie into what we were talking about the Switch sales with me and VC is that this is another big game that's going to push a lot of units. Like just having this, like how many people clicked on that and said, "I already have a Switch, but I'm just gonna buy another one." Right? If Nintendo didn't do that, then you probably don't get those Switches sold. But they knew that this is going to be a big game. It's going to push a lot of units. Animal Crossing is interesting, and like the launch or the release list for March is pretty clear. I mean, it's just Doom Eternal. You got like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. There's the Outer Worlds, but there's not really much, in terms
Yeah.
of big games.
Not much confirmed.
Yeah, so Animal Crossing seems like it has a nice green light to just sell a fazillion copies or whatever it's going to do. So, pretty good there. But I know, VC, did we talk about Switch sales right with you? Did you already mention what you thought, right? Or did I have a, did I brain fart in terms of what did we talk about when we first started out?
Right before the stream.
No, 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 no,
Because
no. I'm
before
talking
the
about
stream,
like when we started this stream. Did we talk about the Switch sales hitting 52
Oh
million?
no, we didn't get there yet.
Okay, what did I discuss then? What did you what did you say at the beginning?
I wasn't.
Oh,
Really
Switch
mentioning,
Pro. Switch Pro.
Switch
There we
Pro.
go. Dude, I totally forgot. Oh my gosh, I've actually had a long day today, though, guys. I'll be honest.
We're a real skeleton scream. We got no guts, no brains either.
Yeah, seriously, I'm losing my mind at this point, dude. To be honest, I've been working. I've been working quite a bit. Today was a pretty big work day for me.
I feel you. That's why I took a nap right before the stream. I had to take a nap.
Yeah, yeah.
I was gonna fall asleep if I didn't.
This one's gonna be a little bit shorter, guys, just because we only have kind of like a smaller crew, so we're not gonna be going for like 2 hours plus or anything like that. It'll be like an hour. So yeah, I'm gonna get some sleep. I'm gonna get to sleep, and then I'm gonna wake up tomorrow morning and make a badass video for you guys on the regular channel. But Switch sales, 52.48 million. Was it 48 or 58? 52.48 million. 52.48 million. Yeah, yep. Nintendo's late. Yeah, 52.48 million. Nintendo absolutely destroyed it. Absolutely destroyed it. Of Switch systems, like this was. If you align the launches, it's actually selling better than the PlayStation 4 and right below the Wii. The Nintendo Switch has officially outsold the Super Nintendo as well. For those, I know you guys are a little bit on the younger side, but, Super Nintendo was, it was the system back in the day, man. It had everything for the most part. So to see it outsell the Super Nintendo in this short a time frame is pretty crazy. The Super Nintendo was active for 6 years. It was 1990 to 1996. So it took it 6 years, and then of course residual sales afterwards to get to that. Whereas Switch is still moving, not even in its third year yet, and it's hit that number. Really impressive stuff. 52 million, and going and counting, with Animal Crossing coming soon, pretty much next month. We're almost in February, so I guess I'll start with Jordan, since he's not a big sales guy. He can get out, but I know you probably have something to say about this. So, Jordan, what do you think, man? 52 million, 2.5 years, 2 and 9 months. What do you think?
That's just the power of focusing on a console that has an appeal to everyone with a unique idea, rather than trying to be something it wasn't. And I'm glad Nintendo sticks to being Nintendo and always trying something new and innovative. And it's paid off. Sometimes it doesn't, like the Wii U. But here it paid off, and it's really cool to see how many people are into the Switch. Even a lot of people I know in real life who aren't like the biggest gamers, or probably wouldn't know too much about like the Switch in general, like end up kind of having one, and it's just it's a cool thing to see.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Well said. What about you, VC? What do you think, man?
I'm actually pretty ecstatic by looking at this, honestly. It's nice to see, especially when the 64 and the GameCube were touted as not the best selling consoles by Nintendo, and once they went into the Wii era, they sold a lot of units, but they were looked down upon even more as an even kiddier friendly console. And the image of Nintendo has always was tainted, especially to many people, especially older people. So it's nice to see that Nintendo is starting to adjust their style to stick with their roots, especially with the Switch going with the red and white color scheme. I think that definitely helped with the marketing of the product. It definitely, like you said, Jordan, tons of people that are more of even casual gamers are going back into gaming because of the Switch. There's many people who we know specifically in the PE Village here who also stopped playing video games. They missed the 7th and 8th gen. They jumped in on the Switch and they love it. So it's amazing. It's nice to see. And some of the sales on the games in the top 10 for the Switch are pretty dope, actually. Would you mind if I mention a few of those real quick? I want to mention Luigi's Mansion 3 sold over 5 million copies, which is incredible. And Ring Fit Adventure also did really well. And Astral Chain hit that milli.
Yeah, that's something I kind of wanted to talk about with Baron, with that.
And Aiden.
And yeah, we definitely need to talk to Aiden about that.
Yeah,
but I mean, I think Nintendo actually talked about the sales of Luigi's Mansion, saying that it's selling like 2 times as fast or 3 times as fast as the 3DS game. So they were really happy with the sales of that game. A pretty big boost. I knew it was gonna do well, but I think dropping it on Halloween Obviously, that was big. The game looking the way that it looked, that was big for the game. But some of these game sales are crazy good. I mean, Jordan, I'm not sure if you saw, but Pokemon Sword and Shield, 16.6 million in a month and a half.
Yep, I saw those numbers. The boycott sure did work.
Yeah, that boycott.
It sure did. Yeah.
That boycott, it worked perfectly. I guess. It worked perfectly, I guess. I mean, 16 million. That is a Switch sales record according to Nintendo. They have stated that. Let me make sure that I get it completely right here. Um, they stated that Nintendo on Pokemon Sword and Shield surpasses record set by Pokemon Sun and Moon. So it has broke a record that it was. Pokemon Sword and Shield released November 15th. It's the latest entry. Graph shows cumulative sales through Japan, blah, 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 blah. Record surpasses. So basically, the graph shows a comparison of cumulative sales sell through for different entries in the Pokemon series during the first 9 weeks after release. The cumulative sell through for Japan, North America, and Europe in the first 9 weeks of weeks after release was 12.28 million units. This record surpasses Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. So there you go. And its first ones was just crazy. It was just crazy. And then of course the rest of the sales come from different areas outside of North America, Japan, and Europe. But yeah, man, it's crazy to see, man. Like Pokemon Sword, I knew it was gonna do well, but I didn't know if it was gonna do like I didn't think it was gonna do 16 million units in a month and a half. I was thinking like 11, 12, not 16, because we did hear about like I think like in the first week it sold like 6 million or something like that. So I mean, you knew it was gonna be something crazy, and then it was like the holiday period. But also like the sales numbers, like Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, nearly 18 million units, man. Like that's just that's crazy. It's the best selling fighting game of all time, and it's not even close to being done. I think you're muted, VC.
Yeah, sorry, I was typing before. That's why I muted. I don't
Yeah,
want because my mic's close to my
yeah, I
ear.
got you. No, it's all good, dude.
But I just think it's weird how Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey have slowed down so much. They're kind of at a snail's pace compared to everything else now. So
I
I don't
guess
know.
I guess
Those
it's
are
because
great
they're old.
games. I feel like people still haven't picked those up yet. There's 50 million units to the Switch.
I guess it's because they're older, probably. That's what I would guess.
Yeah.
It's because
Just
they're
because
old.
something's a few years older doesn't mean it's a bad game.
No, no, it's not that it's not that it's bad.
I know,
Thank
but
you, Kingfisher, for the 25 bits, man. Appreciate that. It's a fighting
I think
game.
there's just a lot of people who may be getting Switches for holidays or birthdays, and they're just getting Smash Bros. Or they're just getting Pokemon, and their initial interests
yeah,
right
or
now
Mario Kart.
are
Yeah.
not specifically Odyssey or Breath of the Wild or anything like that. I think the hotness right now to buy a Switch is you're either getting it for Smash Bros. Because you want to play Smash Bros. Or you're getting it for Pokemon because that's all you play.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Or you bought it for like Luigi's Mansion. Maybe that's like your game that you bought it
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Or
All
whatever. I mean,
Fire
all
Emblem
too
Three
people.
Houses.
Luigi's, yeah, or Fire Emblem or whatever it is. But I think that when Breath of the Wild 2 launches, I guarantee you Breath of the Wild 2 will outsell the first one. Like,
Oh, 100%.
yeah, so
Yeah.
that will be like the hot game to pick up when Breath of the Wild 2 launches, or if there's another Mario, or whatever the case is. That
So
will
does
be the
this
hot
go
game.
on to the theory that Breath of the Wild 2 may not be releasing this year now?
Oh yeah, it's definitely not releasing this year.
I think it's
Because
releasing this year.
I think I feel if they're gonna release a Pro or whatever, and that's not coming this year, I think then that's a good time for an early next year launch. Right after the new consoles come out, drop a Pro in March, release Zelda in March to sell it. That's how you're going to sell that system, saying, yes, it works on the regular Switch, but it's enhanced on the Pro.
Hmm.
Something like that. I mean, that's how they really kind of sold the Pro, sold the Switch itself at
Well,
launch.
that's how they
If
I
should.
don't
Zelda
think it's
wasn't
gonna
on
be a
the launch,
1080p screen though. I think it's just gonna be 1080p screen, 60 frames per second at the most. I don't think it's gonna be more than that in regards to quality. So I don't know how
I
much of a
mean,
difference it's really gonna be.
who
On
knows?
the
But they needed to sell it. If Breath of the Wild wasn't there at the launch of the Switch, what were you buying a Switch? Oh, I'm gonna get 1-2 Switch day one. Can't
Well,
wait.
no, I said that though because what you said, Jordan, that's actually a good point because they did that to sell the Wii too, though. Remember? Well, they did. They had
Yeah,
Wii
they did
Wii
it. When they
Sports.
split Zelda. I mean, I bought Twilight Princess on the Wii. because
it
I
was
was
in
like, wait,
widescreen.
motion control?
It was in widescreen, Jordan.
Yeah.
They had 16 by 9 widescreen and motion control. I remember that was like a feature on the. If you look on the back of the box for Twilight Princess, it was like exclusive 16 by 9 widescreen on the Wii version, dude.
Yeah.
That was the GameCube Pro right there. Was the Wii.
That's why I think we're still gonna have a crazy year for releases in terms of games, and that's why we don't need a new Nintendo console this year, not or an upgraded console. I don't think Nintendo wants to throw out this new hardware when these other big consoles are launching. I think they rather throw out a holiday killer game that's going to compete with numbers of launch titles for the other systems. That's going to have people's attention. So I wouldn't be surprised if, Zelda is next year and maybe we get something even bigger that may be unexpected at the end of this year. Something that revolves a bounty hunter in space.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think that game has, in my head, the biggest possibility for a holiday launch. I think
This
that
year?
game's further along. I think that game's further along than we know.
Metroid Prime 4?
I think that's the big holiday release. That's what's going to sell and compete this year.
Metroid, okay. Well, I mean, do you think that there's potentially any? Because Nintendo has talked about, of course, obviously Nintendo has more games, but they've just reiterated in their investors briefing, like, hey, we've got a lot more unannounced games. A lot more stuff that's going to be dropping this year. I mean, is Metroid that big pull? Like, do you think that
Yes.
it's going to be?
I think it's been long enough, and what they're going to do with it, I think what they're going to show off with it is how they're going to show it as a system seller. I think that this is going to be a game that they're going to try to market and appeal as big as Breath of the Wild was at launch, and saying like this is the game to get a Switch for right now. We're not going to it kind of looks like we're not going to get a big Pokemon game this year. We're just going to ride off DLC. So there's not going to be a big Pokemon game to sell at the end of the year for a holiday release. So I think Prime's going to be their flagship. I think throughout the year, I think we're going to get 2, possibly 3 ports of Wii U games. I think we're going to get Mario 3D World. We're probably going to get Pikmin 3 because we're going to get an announcement of a new Pikmin for next year, early next year, mid next year, something like that. Possibly like if we're getting Xenoblade now this year, because I know the remake of it, I don't think we're gonna get Chronicles X this year.
No, they couldn't drop both.
So I think that's gonna be the port for next year. But I feel like they're gonna figure out maybe one more port to put out this year. But Bayo 3, I think, is gonna be their mid-year high seller. Okay. I think that's gonna be anywhere between May and August. I think that's when they're gonna put that one out.
That's not like a Halloween maybe type of deal, like
Luigi's Mansion. I think at the absolute latest, I think that's when they'd put it out. But I think they're gonna, out of the October, November, December region, I think that's where Metroid is where they're gonna focus on for selling that quarter.
So it's interesting because you look at Metroid, like Breath of the Wild, obviously that was a huge. I mean, you made some parallels, so that was like a huge, change in the structure. You think Metroid can? I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. Like, you think Metroid goes open world? You think Metroid goes, light RPG action elements, like with like first person elements, like a Fallout type of situation or something like that?
I don't know. I don't think it would be as crazy to that extent, but I do think it's gonna have its Breath of the Wild moment.
Okay.
Kind of what people may have wanted from Pokemon right away. I think that whatever vision that was shown to Nintendo for them to scrap it and restart it has something there that they can go, okay, this is innovative, this is big. I think it's gonna be. I mean, like, what other flagship first-person shooter game right now is on Switch?
Flagship first-person shooter?
Yeah.
Well, there's. I mean, from Nintendo first party or just
yeah. Well, just like what sells the what on the Switch right now is like, okay, it's first person, it's shooting. Like, what is the game that is like the craziest?
The only game is Doom. That's the only game which Bethesda said that they're happy with those sales of the game. So I mean,
and I'm sure Doom is going to do great on the Switch because it's going to be portable. And that's fantastic, but it's not going to be a system seller.
No.
I think that Nintendo definitely has to have something here to fill that kind of missing genre need that some people have, and I do think it's going to be pretty good.
Splatoon 2 is the one that fills that gap. And I know
No,
that's what people don't want to hear,
not
but
first person. See what I that my fear of before I started Splatoon was that, oh, it's like shooting with pain and I'm not going to be into it. And when I tried it, it's great, but it's not. It doesn't fit that exact shooter need.
and
It
I
has a
agree.
great feel to it. It's fun. It's unique. It is a shooter, but that first person shooter need is a very big genre. It fills up the Xbox and the PlayStation because there's so many of them. They're a dime a dozen, and it's a huge market because a lot of people really like that. But
Yeah.
there's nothing big and nothing first party on the Switch that is being like
Is
that for people.
what I want to know though is like, is that because like Metroid, it's when you play it though, it's not really a shooter.
No, it's an adventure game. It's part shooter, but I think this is where it has its moment where I feel it was limited back then. When you had it on the Wii, you're able to have more of that shooter feeling because you got to, control, where you're looking around and shooting and all that stuff like
Okay.
with motion controls. I think they figured out a way to kind of blend the genre a bit better. And I mean, this is all just what I think in my head. This is
Mm.
all
No, you're
what I
you're
think they
you're
should
right
do.
about Metroid Prime 3. You're absolutely right about Metroid Prime 3 and how that game literally felt like, okay, yeah, this is like a shooter. Whereas the Prime 1 and 2, because of the lock-on mechanism, that just felt like they just put this in first person. I mean, yeah, there's some shooter elements, but I mean, there's platforming. There's like, you go into the spider ball, right? Like, you have first person platforming where you're grabbing onto ledges and pulling yourself up in Metroid Prime 3. Metroid Prime 3, that's my favorite one. I'm not sure what you guys' favorite Metroid Prime game in terms of Prime game. Well, Metroid Prime Pinball and Metroid Prime 3 are my two favorite Prime games.
I
Everyone,
like Metroid Prime 3.
you know,
I thought it had one of the most interesting stories out of the
the
series.
gimmick was good too. Like the
Yeah, I mean, I thought that game was I thought that was one of the reasons to own a Wii.
absolutely,
Was Metroid Prime 3.
absolutely.
So that's why I'm saying I think it's been long enough. I think they haven't been wanting to do a proper Metroid Prime until they had the correct vision. And I think there's going to be something special here, even though right now we really almost know nothing about it. But like I said, this year is going to be littered with surprise stuff. We still have huge games. We're going to have stuff like No More Heroes 3. That's going to fill up a nice little chunk of time this year at some point. Nice one of the months. It's going to be a big release. I think that game, it's at least going to do a lot better than the one that came out last January. Um,
Yeah.
What
so
what's your thought on that, VC? Like, when do you? I mean, are you a No More Heroes fan, or are you looking forward to the game? And when do you think that game's dropping?
Well, I do like No More Heroes 1. I actually never got to play the second one, so I've been hoping for a collection to come to the Switch before 3 releases. But if it doesn't happen, it wouldn't surprise me. But I am hyped for 3. I'm probably gonna pick it up anyway. It's a dope series. I like it. But back to Metroid Prime. I have the trilogy on the Wii U, so I'm comfortable. I don't need the Switch version for that. I could play the trilogy whenever I want. People are like, oh, we need the Metroid Prime trilogy on the Switch. I'm just like, whew, thank God I bought the trilogy on the Wii U one time and awesome.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking like No More Heroes to me seems like a. It seems like a game that would be out in the first half, but I don't know if it's going to be though. It seems like a game that okay, like that'd be like a May or like an April,
I was
type
thinking
of
July
game.
maybe.
July. I mean, July or yeah, even summer. It could be like a Fire Emblem slot or like a Marvel Ultimate Alliance type of slot or even like an Astral Chain, slot. That type of period, to put that game in there. But we'll see. We'll see. I think Everyone's talking about like Xenoblade being May.
May.
Yeah, like May
Yeah.
or June. June would be the 10-year anniversary of the original release in Japan. So that would I mean and even like or when they even like when I remember when they first showed off that game was Monado like the new world or something like that. It looked a bit different. um but yeah, man, it's interesting because there's just like so many different avenues, especially like with like with like the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 coming this year. A lot of stuff that Nintendo has to think and kind of what they're doing because there's going to be a lot of different games, man. There's going to be a lot of different games. But it was interesting to see like the GDC developer survey where I was surprised to see how many people were. I guess not super surprised, but I was like, oh wow, there's actually as many people that are developing on Switch or thinking about developing on Switch or bringing the next game to Switch than next generation systems. But it's still early though for the next generation
Yeah,
systems. It's
but
still
for
really early.
developers, I feel like if they're trying to now finally get on the Switch, if it's not a port, it's gonna take at least a year for something to come to the platform. At least I would think. Correct? Probably take a while.
Well, yeah, if it's a port, from what I understand, ports, something like Diablo 3, for example, so a large scale, big port, that took Iron Galaxy, I think they said 9 months to make that.
Yep.
So ports are in that range of 9 months to a year to make, depending on what you're doing. But I mean, if you're looking at it, I mean, a lot of those developers are probably like indie developers, so that there's that as well. They didn't separate them from, big AAA to not. But I think at the same time, if you look at it, like it's just such a U-turn, from what we've got before. I mean, heck, even the Wii U didn't really have a ton of indie games. That was the funny thing. Like, it wasn't like the Wii U was having a bunch of games. Like, did Minecraft ever come out on the Wii U? I think it did eventually, right?
Eventually, but
I think
I'm
it
not
did,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I think eventually it ended up coming on there. But I mean, for the longest time, there was like no Minecraft. There was no. There was a lot of indie games that just didn't show up on the platform. Whereas the Switch is actually, getting those. But Minecraft is
It
the
came out on the Wii U.
Yeah, okay, yes, it did come out on the Wii U. Eventually, it came out on the Wii U, but it just took a while, took a long time. Whereas I think Switch got Minecraft that first year, like I think a
I
month.
think it was 2018.
No, 2017 for
It
Minecraft.
was 2017.
Yeah, I think it was. Was it 20? It was 2017 for Minecraft, wasn't it? It came out like May 2017. I don't know. Maybe we could 2017. Yeah,
You're probably right. Let
yeah.
me check.
I think it came out May 2017. That's what I think it came out.
Yep. Yep. May 2017.
Okay. Yeah. I'm old, but my memory is. Sometimes I remember things, guys. Sometimes sometimes I remember stuff here, man. So, all right. So I guess we can kind of move from that a little bit. We did have another thing that was kind of like causing some controversy. I don't know if you guys saw this online, but the Outer Worlds. That's a game that launched. And I don't. Jordan, I thought that would be kind of like right up your alley. Did you play that game?
I played a bit of it. I didn't have enough time to sink into it because it can be a very deep experience, similar to older Fallout games.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I just didn't have the time to devote to it. I enjoyed it, and I think the setting is really cool. It's a very in-depth game, and I'm not surprised at the news that we heard today at
Yeah.
all.
So the news essentially was, it's going to be, like the old Overwatch type of deal situation, like where it's digital only, it's full price, so it's $59.99. It's digital only, and there's going to be a physical edition, but not really a physical edition. It's just a download slip in a box, So you
Yep.
need the online connection. So it's not going to be like Mortal Kombat where like yeah you need an online connection. But you get some of the gigabytes on the card. At least there's like an 8 GB card. So at least you have something physical. It's digital
Hmm.
only, and of course for people that was upsetting because a lot of people like to, like, let's say you have multiple systems, you want to just be able to not have to sign in on a profile in order to play your game. You can just plop out your game and put it there, or let somebody borrow it, or whatever the case is. Some people just like to have the physical game, or if you want to sell the game at some point, obviously you need the physical copy of the game to be able to sell the game, and digital, it removes that, so there's multiple reasons why people like physical games. And the Outer Worlds, it's launching March 6th. But like I said, it's full price, and we still didn't get any footage of the game.
Right.
So
We didn't get any trailer or something
yeah,
showing
Nothing
how
at
it's
all. No
running on
in-game
the
Switch
on the
footage.
system.
what's the point of
So
announcing it for March 6th with no trailer at all?
I think they're sending it
I
off to die.
I think this is a case of Nintendo seeing that it's like, okay, it works on the system. It's not the best performing game on the system. Let's say maybe it has some issues running. Maybe the graphics aren't up to par with what they thought it could be on the Switch, and that they're just kind of sending it out there to release on a date with another game that's probably going to just do kind of okay, which is Mystery Dungeon, and it's just going to be released and be out there and not have a huge launch announcement. It's just going to be like, "Hey, Outer Worlds available now" type deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Kind of like how Overwatch was, maybe.
At least in the Overwatch situation, it runs fine on
Yeah.
Switch, and I actually have a lot of friends that do play it on Switch because that's the only
Me too.
console they have, and they like it on there a lot.
You,
I think this is more of a situation where it may have some issues behind the scenes that we don't know running on the Switch.
The people who are making the Outer Worlds, that's I think it's Virtuoso. So they're the guys. I think they did Starlink. They've done L.A. Noir. They've done a number. I think their track record's pretty good. But yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. It could be that there might be some issues with it or whatever it is, or like obviously the no physical version of it or whatever. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. It's an Unreal Engine 4 game. I mean, I don't see why they would be. I mean, if Saber can get The Witcher going, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Witcher seems like a miracle at this point.
Yeah,
It
if they can
really
get The
does.
Witcher going, you know, and that's like I said,
On a
that's
32 gigabyte card.
yeah. I think Nintendo helped them out with that, but yeah, on a 32 gigabyte card, that's also important to mention. But you know, Saber, they're the guys who did NBA Playgrounds. You know, like like NBA Playgrounds, you know, like that
And they had The Witcher.
and they got The Witcher, and they did a pretty good job for their game being NBA Playgrounds. I mean, nobody, if anybody said who is the developer behind the port of The Witcher, like you have to guess, like who the hell would say Saber, you know, like.
I
So,
can't imagine a single person saying that.
yeah, so I mean, it's like people are getting better and better. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is like people are getting better and better, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
personally, it
porting.
really disappointed me that the Switch version was download only because
Yeah.
initially I was in the camp like last year where I was waiting for the Switch version,
Hmm.
and then around Christmas time came around, and I was like, I'm gonna give myself a present. So I got the Outer Worlds, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. Just like Jordan said, very in depth. If you like the original Fallout games, like 3 in New Vegas, you'd probably love this game. And I have 2 save files on it. One where I'm just going through the store normally, and one where I'm just eviscerating every single person. No quest line, just everyone dies. I'm doing both, and it's been a lot of fun actually. It's great. And for the fact that it's the Switch version that got delayed, and there's still no physical cartridge in it, not even like an 8 gigabyte cart like Mortal Kombat. It's a shame.
Yeah.
Of course, Obsidian and I forgot who else is producing the game. What's the other company? It's on the box.
Bethesda, right?
No, not Bethesda. It's there's something else. I forgot who else is
Oh, Obsidian
releasing
and
it.
let me double check. Yeah, sorry about
Yeah, it's
that.
on the box. It's like the bottom right of the box. I forgot what it was, but the other company is supposed to be like a
Yeah,
smaller company, and
private division.
yeah, private division. That's it. I think the private division may not have the funds to even do the
Or
cart, maybe.
they don't feel like spending the funds at
or
all.
or
Like
don't feel like spending funds at all either. Yes, that as well.
because what I've heard is that a 16 gigabyte cartridge is the same as right now. It's the same manufacturing as a regular Blu-ray, but they probably don't feel the game was gonna sell like compared to like what they're gonna spend, what the game is gonna sell, you know. And that's like I said, that's going like half step in, you know, like you're not committing more than you should. So that's what makes me think that maybe Jordan's right. Maybe there's some things here and there, but then again, I mean, Overwatch, right? That doesn't have a full game card. I mean, and that still runs well. But that game was $40.
Yeah,
You know, like
it was
that's a forty
discounted at
dollar
least.
game. You know, and
Hmm.
so it's just like, yeah, they probably should have lowered it. Maybe they probably should have lowered the price because that's tough for a lot of people to spend that 60. When what is it on Amazon? Like, yeah, how much can you get the game? It's not expensive, is it? The
I
Outer
think it's
Worlds?
like 35 or 40,
Yeah.
It's
and
on
on
Game
Game Pass
Pass.
it's free. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, let me just check. I'm gonna check. Yeah, it's $40 right now. You know, on the Xbox One, you can get it for 30, like 38, $40. Like if you want to get like Prime free 1 day shipping, or sorry, free delivery. Like I can get it by Saturday. You know, for $40. But I'm not gonna do that because I can go buy a pack of Pop Tarts and play it on the Xbox One Game Pass.
Yeah, you can do that.
You can't do.
yeah,
Hey, look! If you guys want
yeah.
Game Pass, just buy a box of Pop Tarts. There's
Yeah, that's a win. You get some Pop Tarts and you get to get Game Pass. So
yeah,
that's a good deal.
it really is a win. You just go there, find the one like there's a Pop Tarts with Master Chief on the cover. Just go there, get the ones with Master Chief on the cover, get a free week of Game Pass.
I was always a fan of the cookie dough and the hot fudge sundae Pop Tarts growing up. I haven't had Pop Tarts in a long time, but those are my favorites.
Those are pretty
Uh,
good. Those are pretty good. I
Wild berry and strawberry.
blueberry and
Mm.
strawberry.
Wildberry, the
Oh,
one with
Wildberry's
purple and
good.
blue.
Oh, okay, Wildberry. You know what I've liked? I've liked the s'mores.
Yeah,
Like the
s'mores is good.
s'mores is pretty. Like, and you put them in the refrigerator, maybe just kind of chill them just
Yeah,
a little
you
bit.
could put it in the toaster or you could put it in the fridge for
What
s'mores. Just
what
like
I
how
used to
that's
do,
so good.
I haven't had a Pop Tart in forever, but what I used to do is I'd keep one like either room temperature or cold, right? Then I'd heat the other one up. So I always have like one that's like harder, but like one that's like really nice and soft and it was cooked well. I don't know why I always just like the option to have one of each because they give you two. Might as well mess around.
Yeah,
Well,
why not have both?
you're a man of
Why not both?
options, Jordan. You need,
I do like options.
I'm surprised
options
I
are
never
good.
even thought about doing that.
I,
I now wish I should have.
I think I've done that before when I was younger. I absolutely did what Jordan did. I would take one and I would put it in the fridge and all that. And dude, Pop Tarts were like a delicacy when I was younger. Like when my, it was, bro, you like if you got
They were
one,
the
you,
snack of choice.
yeah, it was a delicacy, bro. Like you did something good. Like I got straight A's or so. I remember my mom got me a Pop Tart one time when I got like straight A's, and I was like, oh my god, because you see Pop Tarts on TV, right? And it wasn't. They're not like they're like cheaper now, but back then they weren't as cheap. You know, they were
Well,
like,
I think that's why Pop Tarts ain't popping now.
why are they popping?
Because nowadays you barely see the commercials on TV anymore. I barely see them.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think in regards to like the younger demographic, and also in regards of taste, the value of the Pop Tarts don't taste the same as the way they used to either. I
Okay.
think that may play into a part.
A lot more
Even
competition
when
on
it
the
comes to
market.
other brands in general, they've been decreasing the size of things. They've been putting less additives, and they put more sugars and trans fats. They're ruining the food, but nothing we can do.
Yep. Yeah. Well, Pop Tarts are there for those who want Game Pass in the other world. So unfortunate
Yeah.
on that one, but hey, it is what it is. Let's move gears here, guys. We're gonna go ahead and switch it up just a little bit. We do have some more information because there was a brand new fighter that came out Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? Byleth makes his long, highly anticipated debut in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and there's been a range of different stuff, but also Update 7.0 launched as well. So Smash fans have been going nuts. But I did want to get you guys' thoughts on this when it comes to just Smash. Okay, so the Fighters Pass, obviously Fighters Pass 2 is up for sale. People can go out there and buy that. We have rumors about the next Smash character, Crash Bandicoot. I need to know you guys' dream lineup. This is always fun to do. We can talk about Smash and Byleth and all that, whatever. Byleth is in Smash. You can kill people really early with the spear, with the tipper spear. With this tipper spear that you just lunge, and you can break people's shields with this huge hammer that just smashes your head in. So there you go. End up on Forensic Files, Smash Edition. So there's that. Byleth is there. It's a cool character. More fun to use than other Fire Emblem characters, in my opinion. But Dreamline, no, not even Dreamline. What are your characters that you think are going to get? And we're taking it right now. We're going to end out on this one here, guys. This isn't going to be a super long stream just because we got people that are kind of tired and it's already kind of late. So we're going to end out on this one here. But we'll probably take a few questions. 6 characters, Smash Ultimate Fighters Pass. You can go out there. You can buy it. It's $29.99, so it's $5 more than the last one. If you want to buy like the Fighters Pass before the characters are released, or you can just buy them $5.99 separately each, but you'll spend more if you buy all of them. But go ahead, VC. Actually, no. Let me start with Jordan.
Yeah,
Jordan.
yeah. Start with Jordan.
6 characters. Go.
Crash would be nice. I think there's enough want for it, so we'll see if that deal could ever be made. Because that has to be joint between Activision and Sony for that character. That can't just be Activision giving up that character.
Didn't they sell? I thought they sold the whole. They sold the whole rights to Crash, didn't they?
Yeah, but Sony, when it comes to Crash, there's still some sort
Well.
of, there's still some like thing where Sony still has pull when it comes to Crash. At least
What
from what
out
I've
of
seen behind
nowhere.
the scenes. Specifically, even maybe with the new Crash that's about to be announced, maybe at PAX. Oops, I didn't say anything.
What?
Nothing.
Wait a minute, new
What's going on
Crash?
here?
Wait a
Don't worry
minute, new
about it.
Crash?
Don't worry about it.
This dude said a new Crash out of nowhere.
A new. So
Hey.
wait, are we talking like old games remastered, or are we talking a brand new Crash game?
Brand new Crash game, but you didn't hear it from me.
A brand
We
new
heard it. I heard it from a friend named John.
in the
And
same
if it were real, it could be possibly targeting a summer release.
on
But
PS4 only to start.
uh, I don't know if there's going to be an exclusivity deal again, but I just know that Sony likes to hold on to Crash as much as possible. It's about to be the trilogy's about to be the next PlayStation Plus, free game, and it's either going to be at one of two places. This next Crash game, it's either going to be announced the Thursday when PAX starts, or it's going to be at PlayStation's PlayStation event or something like that. But I don't think it's going to be there just because it's not a launch title, as far as I know. So we'll see on that. So that could tie into maybe it being the first character pack or second character pack, depending on when that does release. But hey, don't listen to me. Maybe there isn't a Crash game coming out. But they've been doing play testing right now of a finished game that's almost done, and they like to announce stuff at PAX every couple of years. So I would like to see Crash come through. Spyro, there's not a lot of quadruped characters in Smash, if any, right?
Ivysaur.
Ivysaur is the only.
Yeah, like there's really not much. So I've had faith here and there, like that'd be cool, but it's just not something I think the fans of Smash are really gung-hoing for. I think Crash is the more iconic character they want in there. I think Sora is going to have to come eventually, or else there's going to be like 50% of the Smash fan base who are just going to keep yelling about it forever until it actually does.
I'll take
happen.
Chrono over Sora.
I think most people would want Sora. I guess
maybe they'll cave in eventually and give people Geno.
I don't
know.
Listen.
I don't play Smash. I don't really have a list. I just know what people yell and want.
Listen, they gave us Game & Watch. They could give us Chrono.
Game
no,
& Watch.
You get Game & Watch and you like it.
Game & Watch is a troll character. They always do at least a troll character. Like one troll character since Melee has been added every single time.
Is Ice Climbers a troll character?
No, Ice Climbers isn't troll.
Okay, so they give us Ice Climbers. They could give us Chrono.
But Nintendo doesn't even own Chrono.
they could get the Square Enix. They could work with Square Enix.
Like you're naming first party characters compared to third party. Like Nintendo gave
Square Enix
this first party character.
Square Enix said they are remaking classics on the Switch.
Yeah,
they said that.
True, but that has nothing to do with the Smash character.
So Nintendo work with Square Enix and make it happen.
Hey, look, I want Chrono too. I think Chrono would be cool. I guess I'll go over my picks. By the way, welcome, Abaddon. Welcome to the stream.
Yeah,
I thought you were in a pissy mood today, man. What are you doing?
I feel a lot better.
Okay, good.
I feel like I got all my editing done and it's exporting now, so I can just chill out. Let's just say I almost choked people out in HR today. That's what I'm gonna say.
Man, dude, you know what? Bruh, tell me
That's
about
all
it.
I gotta say.
I've been choked out in HR.
That's all I gotta say.
Or Simpson style.
Dude, one chick almost literally, Simpsons, dude, one chick literally almost put her hands on it.
That's one thing.
Because of something I said, dude.
That's one thing. I almost turned into Pinky from Friday. We messed with my money. That's what I'm gonna say. That's all I gotta say.
Oh my god, that's funny.
That's all I gotta say.
I almost turned into the black dude from Friday, the African dude that came into the store. I've turned into that guy a couple times on my way out. All right, man. Sounds good.
So I'm good now.
Okay, good to see that you're here. Also, Shadow Fox is here, my man. Shadow Fox, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Chilling, man. How you living?
I'm just laughing at people on Twitter. You know Shadow Fox.
Twitter's funny.
At a time.
I just log out these days.
I saw that. You just log out.
Yeah, I barely use Twitter anymore.
Your wife
I don't respond to most people now. I just look at stuff and laugh and scroll now.
I'm not gonna waste my free time when I'm working and grinding on other stuff to either
thank you, Jordan.
argue about a video game character or see people get so angry over nothing. And I'm like, I'm not going to give any energy to this. Why am I going to give energy to stuff that doesn't matter?
Listen, I'm gonna tell you guys something. All the times when I was on Twitter or Instagram, most times I'll be on my phone when I'm editing and everything. When I just shut it down, turn my phone over, and started working, fastest and most efficient editing I've done in a very long time. So I agree with Jordan 100%. It's you got a lot of people on, and no offense to anybody and everything. There's no offense, but it's like I death. I had a death in the family with Kobe as well, but it's like death to me is just more pressing for me to get things done. So it's like when I see things are wasting time, I'm like, nope, let me get off. So that's why I treat Twitter the way I do these days.
The Kobe stuff still doesn't feel real, man.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
It sucks.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm you know, from Los Angeles. I'm in that area, and it still to this point doesn't feel real, man. It's
The
crazy.
city's not gonna be the same. I could tell.
No, the city will never be the same. I just got chills right now. The city will never be the same. I mean, because you know, you don't expect. I mean, we still have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You know,
Yeah.
and he's old. You know. And we still have him. We still have a lot of the Laker great. We still have Jerry West. We still have
Yeah.
all these Laker greats, you know, that are still around from the old days. But Kobe, the most modern Laker great, is not here, and it's just heartbreaking, man.
Very young.
It sucks,
Very
yeah.
young.
41 is way too young, dude.
Father of four
They
kids.
still have all the visual stuff sitting out in front of the Staples Center.
Yeah, I think it's all still there. I don't know who's gonna remove it or when they are, but it's all still there. Traffic has been just crazy. People have been flooding in from Northern California to Southern California to go pay their, you know, pay their respect to Kobe. People have just been leaving just like crazy. Like the traffic heading down to the South 405 and you know I-5 has just been crazy. People just coming in from everywhere. People coming from Nevada. People coming from Arizona. People just driving in from everywhere to come pay their respects. Come spend some time in Los Angeles. You know, whatever. Do whatever they need to do. You know, see family there. You know, so you got a lot of people that used to live in Los Angeles and moved. You know, but then like now like coming back to pay their respects. Kobe's Kobe. So it's
Indeed.
tough, man. It's tough. I feel bad for the girls. That's
Yeah.
you know.
That's nothing no one wants to imagine.
Yeah. His wife she must be in shock. She must be stuff. But yeah,
yeah.
it's kind of hard to talk about games, I guess, but it is what it is. The show must go on, right?
Yeah, that's the thing, you know, when you take your time, you know, to grieve, you take your time to mourn, you take it a day at a time. But the beautiful thing to life is, you know, I'd say this to everybody. I said if you woke up, start with being grateful. If you're able to go to sleep, start with being grateful because because over in I don't know how far this was from you, Jordan, but remember when a plane crashed and landed into a house?
Yep. Yeah.
It's like that's an example right there. It's like of literally you could be asleep, and
Yeah.
the 1 in a million chance of something like that happening can actually happen. No one really would want to imagine that, but it's like, you know,
I think that's one of my top motivators in life is the unknown of death and
Yeah.
when is your last day and what are you going to accomplish? What are you going to leave behind? Do you want to just
what do you
go through the
remember that as?
motions or do you want to leave a legacy? And that's, you know, if anything we can take away from Kobe is, you know, he left a legacy. He's a name that's not going to be forgotten about. He's someone who's done a lot of good and positive stuff in the world, you know, even while doing basketball, but even after, you know, finishing up. And he was, you know, basically, you know, his daughter was going to be going to UConn and doing a lot of, you know, crazy stuff with basketball herself. And he was teaching her the game and coaching a new generation of players. And there's a lot of good to take away from it. I think it's such a tragic situation that it does kind of stop you in your tracks,
Yeah.
but you have to use that as a motivating factor to always be grateful, always stay humble, and always hustle hard because you're the only person in control of your destiny and how people remember you by at the end of the day. Do you want to be, and this goes to the Twitter example, do you want to be remembered as the guy who just went to shit post on Twitter? Or do you want to be remembered as the guy who made something that is, that stands the test of time? You can look back at it in 10 years and go, wow, that was something cool I did. I made my own creations online. I was able to transition into something else, or for you, making music or whatever it may be. You have to figure out what that is for yourself. And, don't have the fear of death be scaring you. Have the fear of death be pushing you to be the best you can be while you're here.
Exactly. Jordan and I had the same conversation at Too Many Games, and it's like you got to do what you are made to do, and that's one of the self-realizing things I had to come to the realization of, in 2020. That's why you guys don't really see me post too much on the main channel, is because I have came to the point where I said I'm not utilizing my full potential. And you got to get to the point, and this is just for anyone who's watching, you got to get to the point where you are pushing yourself to your fullest potential. And things are going to happen. Life is going to happen. We don't want to think about this, but it's like death is going to happen more and more to the people that is either closest to us or eventually us. And you got to do things to put yourself in a position that's going to allow you to enjoy more time with the people that you love being around. And that's why I don't waste too much time. I used to take like an hour break at work, just taking it easy, relaxing my head so I could be more balanced. These past few days, I would just work straight through, come home, spend time with the family, and then I get straight back into work. Today, I relaunched my entire Instagram and recreated it for only Beats for Breakfast, and I deactivated Facebook. I'm cutting and pruning more and more of what is not needed. And I say this to encourage you guys, anyone that's watching, to do the same. Cut the fat out your life. The things that is wasting your time, literally cut the bad fruit from the tree.
All right, guys. Well, I guess we're going to go ahead and stop the podcast here then. You said cut things that are wasting my time. All right. Well. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I say, we all just got here.
Guess I'm gonna shut down all my channels then.
You're a business.
I'm gonna sell cars. That's what I'm just gonna go there, chill outside, sell cars, sell about 2 cars a month. I'm good. No, I'm joking.
You see, no, but for real though, OJ, the thing about you though is like, you are a huge asset in times of like this. Like, you provide people entertainment, laughter, and time where people can just relax and just catch their breath. That is needed. That's part of balancing, or counterbalancing rather. It's like you can't always just work. You have to, switch between that extreme. And sometimes you need to fall into an extreme of just hanging out with friends, playing a whole bunch of video games, then jump back into work or whatever it is your dynamic is. So you're doing a good job, man.
Thanks,
we appreciate you.
I appreciate that, but I want to hear about VC. What job VC is going to do? Tell me about these Smash Brothers characters, though.
All right, well, I hope you guys are ready. When I went to see Evo Japan 2020 last week, I also took a flight there for a bit. I was there for just 30 minutes to talk to Sakurai right before he went on stage. I found out all the characters, so I hope you guys are ready. These will be the characters. Character number 1 is going to be Billy Hatcher. I have high credibility that Billy Hatcher is going to be one of the first characters to release on the Fighters Pass. Second character after that, Davy Blue from Chameleon Twist. I feel they're going to bring a new Chameleon Twist game to come out. It's going to do really well. They're going to be like, you know what? We need Davy Blue. Where the hell is Davy Blue? He had a great game on N64. They're bringing him back. Highly anticipated Shrek is coming back. They had the Shrek Smash game back in the day. They're like, you know what? We saw how good he was there. We'll transfer the moves to Switch. I'm not done with the joke yet. I still have a lot more to go. Goku from Dragon Ball.
How long is this
Z
going?
Super. Goku is finally coming back as well. Gino's getting the axe though, and Goku's gonna have only Ultra Instinct. He's gonna
go
down B. Oh, we're not done. And the most highly anticipated character is supposed to be in the 64 version. James Bond from 007 is coming to Smash Ultimate. And then last but not least, CJ from Grand Theft Auto. I'm kidding. All right. All right. You
should have said you was kidding.
I mean, like, you want to keep going? Like, you can.
You should have just stone faced it, like, on everything.
I was, but I was getting too funny. I couldn't hold myself.
You could have just said, I put this on everything.
Well,
On
it wasn't gonna
Sacrifice
happen
Legacy.
if I were to say that, but realistically, it's gonna be Crash. Crash is the first character that's coming.
Okay.
I definitely see Crash coming. Jordan, I would love to see Spyro. It'd be nice to have another four-legged character, but I don't think that's gonna happen, unfortunately. I do think Travis Touchdown's gonna make it. I don't think Akira from Astral Chain is gonna come in. I think instead of Akira, we're just gonna get someone from a different game coming out. I still feel like we're gonna get a Capcom rep, whether it's Dante or Leon or Phoenix Wright or Monster Hunter. One of them is coming to the Switch for the Fighters Pass. Gino would be a dope final character if they were to settle on that, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Shantae, that's one of my picks. I think Shantae is definitely a likely candidate.
Really,
And,
indie game character.
Yeah, for the indie, I think that would be a great pick because they already have a Shovel Knight as an assist trophy. So if they're
She's
not
an
going to
assist
remove
trophy, too.
Luigi as an assist trophy, they're not going to remove Shovel Knight. And I think that's 5. I think there's 6, right? There's 6 total. What would be my 5th? I would love to see Chrono as well, to be honest. And I heard rumors that the character from Tales of Symphonia is going to be in the game, but why would they do Tales of Symphonia when they would do Tales of Arise instead? Because that's like the
Because
new game.
Lloyd's best character.
Because Lloyd has way more affiliation with Nintendo than Arise.
He has better hair.
His hair is pretty nice.
He has a dope outfit too.
Yeah, his
You
outfit's
know,
cool.
you know what I will say?
That'd be it for my set.
I'm gonna say this. Everyone says Gino for Smash. I'm gonna be that guy and say Malo for Smash.
Malo.
That puffball cloud, right?
That could do a whole bunch of thunder attacks. So it'll be like a floaty Pikachu.
Gino shoots stars out of an arm cannon though, which is pretty cool.
He does.
That's true.
He does.
Gino
What,
was
he'd be
cool
like Mega
back
Man's
in the day.
neutral, but with stars?
Gino was cool. My team was Mario, Bowser, and Gino most of the time. Or I would use, if I were to challenge myself, I would use Mario, Peach, and Malo.
Peach is good because she heals.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a frying pan. A frying pan actually hurts. Like when she hits you with the frying pan, it's actually pretty strong. That game was crazy because it was the first time I ever you're using Princess Peach and Bowser and Mario on the same team. That was nuts. Was that not just like a crazy thing to you guys back in the day?
Yeah.
That was my first RPG.
Man.
That was the very first RPG I ever played. I had the physical copy and everything. And
you like jumping on people's head like an RPG fan. Like that was just cool because that was before Paper Mario. A lot of people Paper Mario was a lot of people's first Mario RPG, but Mario RPG came first before Paper
and
Mario.
that game was really dark. The reason why I think I love that game so much is because they had so many. It had a few darker aspects.
It had some darker, but it was a lighthearted game.
Okay, wait, you know why I said dark? You know why I said dark? I thought of Kulix immediately. My bad.
Okay, yeah, there is that part. Yeah, there is, and then also no spoilers, but what happens to Gino is kind of
I wasn't. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. But one thing I will say that I did like about this game that I respect I'm not gonna say I liked. I laughed at it as a kid. The parody. I'm not gonna say of who, but you know who I'm talking about. Like you fight them in the volcano.
Oh, that. Well, I mean, come on, dude. It's old. Like the Power Rangers stuff.
Yeah. Hey, you said no spoilers for Gino, so I was trying to respect it.
No spoilers on what happens to Gino in terms of the Axum Rangers or whatever. Okay, no, we could. Yeah, they find a parody, but then I think also the writing and stuff. I mean, Peach has a thing in her. You see that secret line with Peach?
Yep.
She has something in her room.
And Mario, this is why, like I said, I was about to say something and I caught myself. That's fine.
Toadstool?
A very long stool end of the toad.
Wow, that was well played, Jordan. Well played. What I will say is I miss those days of Square.
Yeah,
like SquareSoft. Like I miss those days because around that period you got Mario RPG, Chrono Trigger, and Sega Densetsu 3. And then soon after that on the PS1 you got Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah.
Classics
I'm-
on classics right there.
Like I missed that era of Square because that era was amazing.
What about you, Shadow Fox? You've been quiet. Any characters? You're 6. You got some picks, man.
For Smash,
Yeah.
so I've been kind of looking at them here. I was kind of thinking about it while you're talking about them. And I mentioned this in I guess one of the podcasts.
Let me write down my picks. It's 6 picks, right? I'm gonna write them down.
We're
right
gonna
now.
end on this one too, guys, because it's past 12 in the East Coast. So we're gonna get Shadow Fox's picks, then we're gonna get Avedon's, then we'll wrap it up.
All right, cool.
I was gonna say if Jay's in the chat, Jay or Andre's in the chat, we did a podcast before talking about a couple of characters that can be in Smash, and I mentioned this before, but it reminded me of another set of characters that could possibly be in there. But I talked about how there were 90s franchises that became super popular as far as cartoons, video games, and things of that nature. So you had Ninja Turtles, you had The Simpsons, and they all had their own coin-op games or what have you, and everybody wanted to play the games on the NES and Super NES or what have you. Well, since those properties weren't from video games, they obviously they're not going to fit the criteria to be in Smash or anything of that nature, right? But another franchise that came out around that same time was Battletoads. So, and you already have existing. I mean, that's already existing right now as a crossover in Killer Instinct. So, I mean,
I was just about to say that.
Like, what's to stop them from being a character in Smash? They're legendary. They're as old school as some of the other franchises that have been on there. And since I was talking about Battletoads, then they're just a take on another franchise, and that's Billy and Jimmy from Double Dragon. So I don't know how that could really be added because their moves are kind of old school. But that would be interesting to have them there for legacy's sake. We're just gonna go back and grab characters. And while I was thinking about going back and grabbing characters, Goemon. I know there's kind of a little back and forth as far as like whether Mystical Ninja was an anime first or game first. I'm not really sure, but I know they were Famicom games back in the mid to late 80s. So that character can be considered as well. And of course, the obvious ones that I would prefer: Nakaruru, Sub-Zero, and Numa and Rex.
Okay.
So
I would love to see Rex.
yes.
And Avedon.
All right. So of course, I said one earlier, Chrono. Actually, Skull Kid with Majora's Mask will be dope. Crash, Hoamaru from Samurai Showdown.
Ooh, I love that. That'd be
And
amazing.
this next one, I never hear anyone say this guy for Smash, so I'm gonna suggest him. Strider Hero.
Okay.
Yes.
Strider.
Oh, I think I had mentioned him before, and why is he not? Man.
Strider.
Capcom,
Yeah, Strider would be perfect for Chupacabra says Skull Kid is an assist trophy, by the way. Yeah, I just felt like they could have did him better.
Shantae is too, but Shantae can be.
I just thought of
Asante
something.
she's a spirit.
She's a
Yeah,
spirit.
she's a spirit, but not to cut you off, Avedon, but I have to take off my Geno pick. Heihachi from Tekken coming to Smash. Tekken 7 is doing so good too. That's definitely a
I
possibility.
used to call him Budokai Tenkaichi.
No Namco representation so far. Other than Pac-Man.
Oh my god.
Another character. I didn't play this game. I forgot what the game, but it's like the Spirit Wolf. It's Amateur.
Okami.
Okami. Yeah. That should definitely. Why not have him in Smash
That'd be
and
a good rep.
and Malos. But you know what? I actually want to flip out Crash. Everyone says Crash. I actually want to flip Crash out for Joe Musashi.
Joe Musashi?
Yes. Shinobi.
Okay.
Or you could have Axel Stone or Axel Stone from Streets of Rage.
Yeah,
Shadow Dancer. Make sure he has the dog.
you know what would be dope though? Like Skate from Streets of Rage. That would be. He would be.
Skate would be good. Skate would be
Because
good.
he's
Yeah.
using
Skate from
rollerblades.
Skate 3, Skate himself.
No, the little black dude from Streets of Rage.
Streets of Rage.
He break dances and uses rollerblades. Like he's on rollerblades. You gotta trust me. Back then, it was really cool to do this.
That would be really cool for Smash.
What about the Jet Set Radio guy?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be fine too. But back then, the culture was like brothers and roller. You guys remember the old school music videos?
Yeah.
People would always be wearing rollerblades in those old music videos. So that was just like cool back then. So
Yeah.
So,
that'd be dope.
off the top
if
of
it
my
was
head, real quick, does anybody know? Is there any representation at all, Spirit or I haven't seen Assist definitely, for Arms?
yeah,
Assist
trophy.
Assist trophy.
Springman.
Springman, yeah.
Okay.
And there's like spirits for arms too. I think there's like Ribbon Girl and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ribbon Girl is a spirit as well.
But if they were to bring somebody from arms, it needs to be Twin Tail. Like it needs to be Twin Tail. Twin Tail needs to be the
Yes, it
character. Twin Tail. She has
Man.
the
Wrote
coolest
the internet
ability.
right after Zelda did.
She has the coolest ability. She can like not only can she like slow down projectiles that come in her range, but then she can like jump and she can like spin and like fly off to different sides. Like I think her movement, her ability would be dope, and you know she's cool. Like she's the best. Toto. If they're gonna bring one, if Helix has the coolest ability, you would pick some weirdo type of stupid looking character. Chuba.
I would say I would say for to represent like heavies and whatnot, Master Mummy, and like his ability would be if you leave him around too long, he actually starts healing health, which will actually make him kind of hard to fight. I would say Master Mummy would be a cool
You guys
addition.
already know how I feel about heavies in Smash Bros. So I'm only gonna just say, yeah, you guys already know how I feel. I've never liked heavies. I try to like them, and I just don't. The heaviest I'll go is like Ike or Byleth. Like that's like
I love using heavies. It's the best. I
they're
can
too
play
fat.
Ganon, K-Rool. Yeah, but like the ones that have good recoveries, you can just come right back, have 250 health, destroy a Game Watch at 50 HP. It's the best.
unless you're playing against Meister and he just combos you till you're dead.
Well, the other day, when we were playing Byleth on stream, I was 3 hours straight winning sets against people, and then Chupa
5-0'd you?
ruined my whole night. Ruined my whole
5-0'd you?
He went ham. He's like, you didn't win all night? All right.
that tends to be what Chuba tends to
I got
do.
restocked almost like 5 times.
That
And
tends to
normally it's
0
pretty
to death.
even, but like he went ham. He was like, you're not having fun tonight, bro. GG.
No,
I wouldn't say-
I personally said I don't like using heavies. Not that, oh, well, they're pretty decent in the game. No. I said I don't like using them. Nobody needs to tell me about like the balance in terms of if they're good or not.
Nah,
already know.
I feel you. I understand. I understand your play, OJ. Trust me.
Yeah,
I do.
Well, I'm just talking about in the chat. Like they're saying, oh, well, they're actually pretty. I already know there's some heavies that are good. I'm well aware of that. What I'm saying is
Listen.
that I personally don't like using heavies. That's it. Not that people can't use them or people can't have fun with them. That's fine. Have fun. Use them. It's just not for me. That's it.
Let's all agree on one thing. Bowser has never skipped leg day. He's like Bowser's like one of the fastest heavies in the game.
He is
like,
pretty fast for how heavy he is. Oh, he has trouble landing, but he's pretty fast for how heavy he is. Like,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true.
So
yeah.
yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna go ahead.
Well-
I have a video that I'm going to do for my Smash character picks, so I'll be doing that this probably next week. All right, real quick
Ooh.
before we end though the stream, picks for the Super Bowl. Picks. I know Jordan, you're not a Super Bowl fan, so
I don't
just
even
say
know who's in
Jordan. Just say the 49ers.
it. What's my other option?
You don't have another option.
Kansas City.
Just
Kansas
say the
City Chiefs.
49ers.
The trailers.
The trailers. That sounds like
That was-
49ers.
That's
There you
a-
go.
that's a-
Trailers.
That's a great pick.
All right, VC, your pick.
I personally want to see the Chiefs make an upset, but I definitely think the 49ers. are
It's
gonna
not an upset. The Vegas has the Chiefs by 1.5 favorite.
win. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm actually shocked about that. Okay, then 49ers. Yeah.
Okay. Shadow Fox. Your thoughts?
I'm
Your
torn.
pick?
I'm torn because obviously your team's head coach and there's a couple players on the team that come from good old Atlanta, but you're playing against a head coach from one of my other favorite teams, which is Andy Reid when he was the Eagles head coach. So I don't know. This could really go in either way, depending on how the momentum is. I guess I side with you and say Niners by a field goal.
All right. I also want to give a shout out. Sorry about that. Matthew, about 16 minutes ago, did do a $3 donation. He says, keep up the good work, everyone. YouTube Prince is coming back. So, yeah, February 9th, we'll be back on YouTube as well. In terms of like the live streams and stuff like that. So that's not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, we'll be back to having our streaming capabilities. So thank you so much for the $3 donation, Matthew. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Sorry for the late response on that one, man. So you've got the who? Shadow Fox?
The 49ers by a field goal.
49ers by a field goal. All right. Avedon.
It's really a toss-up. That's the closest guess I can give.
I'm gonna say it's not gonna be a close game. I see 49ers 2 touchdowns.
Oh, 2 touchdowns. Why?
Yeah.
Why do you think, real quick, why do you think 2 touchdowns?
One of the if it doesn't happen to the 49ers, it's gonna the Kansas City's gonna do it to the 49ers.
Okay.
One team is gonna choke.
Okay, so you see one team choking.
Yep.
Okay.
It happens almost all the time. I see it. It's who remembers Broncos where they went to the Super Bowl?
Well, they went to the Super Bowl twice. Which one?
The most recent one.
They won one because they played my team.
Yeah, they won one, but the more recent one was like a blowout. I think Peyton Manning was quarterback. It wasn't that long ago. It was like 2000. Well,
they got.
It
Was
that long ago.
Because he won one too.
Yeah, no, it was that long ago.
Seattle.
It was all defense.
They got bought by Seattle.
Yeah, okay, it was that one.
Yeah, they got destroyed by Seattle. But that was
that was like 7 years ago. That was six years ago.
2013.
That might have been the second year of the Legion of Boom because they were.
They got absolutely
Super Bowls.
They got absolutely manhandled by Seattle. But then they won one of the Super Bowls. They won that was against Carolina. So the second Super Bowl that they went to, that was the second one. They won that one, so they got destroyed. That record breaking year Peyton Manning had was all kind of like
Peyton's retirement game.
Yeah.
And then like the Carolina was like the retirement one, retirement game. But yeah, I mean you're right though. You're right. That was like I think what you're trying to say here is like you have a crazy record breaking offense versus a defense that just gets after it. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what it's setting up to be. Is like Kansas City, they would have been even more record breaking if Mahomes wasn't out for those games.
Exactly.
But he still had he was still one of the best quarterbacks, and they're gonna pay him $5 billion next year. So
I just see 49ers just taking it, and it's like they're gonna get a momentum, and they're not gonna let go of any pressure. It's just gonna end.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, I hope you're right. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pick the 49ers, and I think the score is going to be, I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to be a little bit of a higher scoring game. I'm going to say 27-21, something like that. 49ers by about 6 points, 2 field goals. That's what I'm thinking. I'm hoping 49ers do not let me down by losing your second Super Bowl in a decade. Because actually about 8 years time period. So that'd be 2 Super Bowl losses in 8 years. That's painful for a 49er fan. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how hard it is.
Wait, the NFL thinks that didn't happen. They haven't had one since the 90s.
Oh, the NFL doesn't think though.
If you let Roger Goodell tell it. I mean, they really edited that. They said it's been the first time in 18 years or something since they've been.
No, the Niners went to the Super Bowl. I don't
forgot.
Listen, they went there. There was a little bit of a power outage, whatever. Then the 49ers made a comeback. But yeah, like the 49ers, like it would be very painful for me to see, because like I watched the 49ers win all the Super Bowls in the 80s, and I watched the one in the 90s, and it would suck if I've watched these 2 ones. Like 49ers were really bad in between like their Super Bowl runs. They've been good and they've been bad. So I mean, I'm really hoping that Baron, we're done, Baron. Anyway, I'm done talking. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this podcast.
This dude, Baron Kane. Wow.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Literally the last minute before we log off.
Everybody, sign outs. VC, where can they find you at?
I just posted a link. I'm going live in 5 minutes. We're playing Valhalla, very chill game where I play as a bartender and we just talk to people. And it's funny, it's hilarious. Come through. I just posted a link in the chat. And aside from that, you can check me out there. Subscribe to the channel, VCIPZ, VCVSips. I do streams, music, gameplay, live events. And I plan to do a charity stream on Valentine's Day for mental health awareness. So if you guys can come through on Valentine's Day, that'd be much appreciated.
Nice. Jordan Fringe, where can they find you at, my man?
You can find me on YouTube, make an array of different Pokemon content. We just hit 30,000 subscribers, so thank you.
Congrats on that, man. Seriously. Hey,
congrats, bro.
Congrats on that, dude. Seriously. Nice.
Real for real.
Thank you.
Make sure you guys subscribe to Jordan Fringe. Subscribe.
Yeah, better do it. This is not a choice.
It's not a choice. Shadow Fox, where can they find you at, my man?
Y'all can find me on YouTube or Twitter making people cry as usual. Apparently, I'm going to be playing God Eater 3 because I saw that and I didn't know what gameplay I was looking at, but I'm buying that game probably.
There's a demo. You can check out the demo.
Yeah, but I would suggest that people, if you want to be entertained, you can watch me attempting to beat Breath of the Wild after not playing the game in almost 2 years. So that's up on my channel and a couple of other Shadowcasts that I've done. So technically it's 4, part 1 and part 2 of 2 podcasts that I've done in the last couple of weeks. So that's kind of rare for me. So if you've been missing them, go back on there and see them. Shadowfox Shadowcast, and we play games, have fun to impress other people.
You've already said this. To impress.
Yes.
And Abaddon, where can they find you at, my man?
You guys could find me on YouTube at Beats for Breakfast, just as it's spelled. There's a link right there. We have an interview with Gold Chain Gamers tomorrow, and I'll give you guys the schedule. Next Friday, we have RDT85. Following week, Mikhail Casanova. Following week, we're going to do the myth of multitasking. And the week after that, Your Player 2. So for the month of February, we are booked.
Packed.
Nice.
Yes.
Definitely. Great stuff, man. I highly suggest going and watching the Beats for Breakfast. David Drayton checking out. MVG was on there, last month. MVG was on there, which was fantastic for MVG to do. So make sure you guys check that out. Highly suggest those two, if you want to just get, what I watched. Those two were fantastic. Especially the Double D David Drayton one and the
that
MVG
was a great one.
Yeah, they're both.
I'm gonna if Double D's up to it, I'm gonna have him on again to see his progress and everything. So I'm gonna ask him more questions and stuff like that.
Yo,
and Baron, where can they find you at, my man?
Yo, wait a minute, hold up. How in the hell is this over already?
Because you came.
It's only been an hour and a half.
No, because we started too late and people got stuff to do, and I'm actually ridiculously tired. VC's going live in 5 minutes too, so I wanted to be considerate.
And I'm exporting a video, and I got to make a thumbnail. So
y'all do this to me every time. Y'all do this to every.
No, you did it to yourself. You did it to yourself.
What is that?
You literally said, "Hold up, I'm gonna pull up." I don't do this, but I'm gonna pull up a DM. You literally said at 8:13 p.m. my time. You said
30 minutes.
You said give me 30 minutes. So that
okay. It's been about 55. My bad.
No,
but still,
that's nice.
No, it's been an hour.
It's been 55 minutes.
It's been an hour and 15
minutes.
No,
it hasn't. It ain't been no hour.
Since when you said
it has.
When you said give me 30 minutes, you said give me 30. It's been an hour and 30 minutes, or hour and 15 minutes.
Okay, well, look. I'm gonna put it like this. I've been dealing with a lot of wrestling business, so that's what I was handling. So
stop this. Stop. No one cares, man.
No, look. If he's dealing with wrestling business, he's dealing with wrestling. I mean, he's trying to get.
I know what he's talking about.
But I know we usually go 2 hours, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get in here. We got 30 minutes to say what I need to say, and I come in here, y'all talking about bye. I'm like, what the hell?
We've got
what's going on?
Because we started a little bit later. If we started a little bit earlier, then maybe we can go. But it's already past midnight, and it's a school night, Baron.
So
a school night for who?
Baron had wrestling matches where 2 people won.
Oh Lord! A school night for who?
It's a school night for me. I'm going back to school.
You got Shadow Fox over here sipping beer. You got VC over here looking like he got.
VC's got to go. VC's got to go live in like 5 minutes, man. So we're gonna look at it. So where can they find you at, Baron?
Y'all can find me on Twitter I might upload a video tomorrow. I should upload a video tomorrow.
On what Pokemon Go home?
I didn't even see that news. I missed that whole day of gaming news. So I didn't even know that
good thing we're not talking about that on stream.
It's just more whining about Pokemon, and then everybody who's whining about it is probably gonna going to get
And
Pokemon.
buy it.
Is gonna end up getting it, just like Pokemon Sword and Shield sold like 5
Because
million copies.
look at those sales.
Yeah, but I guess
Sales speak for itself.
boycott, right? Boycott Pokemon Sword and Shield. That's an OJX video. I'm doing the OJX on that one. So
Hey man, we just know one thing, man. Any controversy creates cash, man. That's all.
Oh, yeah. Word of mouth. Word of mouth is the best way to make sales.
Yeah, ask Pastor Troy.
there you go.
I think it's time to log off now.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Do appreciate it. If you want to watch the replay, the replay will be up. It should be up tonight. If I can get it up tonight, I'll try to see if I can get that replay up for you guys tonight.
Hey.
And we will see you guys tomorrow. I'll have more content for you guys tomorrow. We're going to be having a nice freaking video covering a lot of cool topics tomorrow morning. So look out or tomorrow afternoon, morning-ish. So look out for that. I'm going to go to sleep, though. I'm going to get that done in the morning for you guys. Make sure it's nice and high quality. Plus OJX video for you guys. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.
And Astral Chain Gang, baby.
Astral Chain sold over 1 million units. Let's go.
Gang. Yep.
Bye, everyone.
Aiden knows ya.
Peace.
Aiden, you owe me $50 too. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, you owe me $50 for Astral Chain, bro. Like, seriously.
Where's my money? He gonna jump.
Where's my money?
Like a Stewie.
Where's my money? Like Stewie. Where's my money?